99. Might be enough. Might not. Won't be. Is more.
Jackie require 96.
96,
Ooh, Jack,
right.
what is that? So that's what?
96, so that's a...
Treble 20, double 16?
60... Yeah, hold on, no,
no.
6... Double 60... Hold on, wait, 60, treble 20, yeah, and then what do I have left?
You need 4 and double 16.
Okay, fine, hold on.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god! Treble 20! Oh my god. Yeah.
He's turned up. Luke Littler.
Yeah.
I always lick the tips as well, mate. You gotta lick
Lick the tits, we're still talking darts. Great, so you need a 4. Oh my god! Alright, double 16, double 16.
Holy shit, I'm freaking out a little bit.
Oh, 16. Okay, you need, what's that, double 8 to go?
Double 8, yeah.
Okay, and Robbie require 372. So
You're not very good at darts, are you?
No, I'll just try and hit the board and see where we go. Hang on.
Well done. That was on the black bit. That was good.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
Good. And double 2. I didn't even aim for that, so that's good. Everything. And
good.
Oh, it's pinged out. Why does that always happen? Why does it always happen? How can I not hit like treble 20, but I can hit a wire?
Hit the wire, yeah.
Oh, okay then. So what is it? What are you on?
Double
16?
2, yeah,
Jackie requires 16.
Just watch this. Here you go. Easy peasy.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh,
Here
my
we go.
first go.
Oh my god, it's absolutely brilliant.
Well done. Oh, that's good.
I bloody love a game of
You got a
darts.
game of arrows in the clubhouse.
Get the arrows in the pub in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Class, man. Loving a bit of darts.
You're good, but you know Luke Littler.
Luke Littler. Honestly, the best thing about Luke Littler is there was a fantastic meme going around, or like a little comment saying, I have taken my son halfway across the county, freezed my absolute balls off, trying to get him to be the next Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe. Luke Littler's dad just took him to the pub, and now he's a multi-millionaire. He's doing it all wrong.
Oh my god, it is. And that's the sort of heart of it, isn't it? Because, you know, we obviously, if anyone's interested, we did a whole episode last year, I can't remember which number, Sport or Not.
Yes,
go back
correct.
into season 1, which was actually a really popular episode, and we debated about what is a sport or not. And it is undoubtedly, I think, a sport, darts.
Yes.
You know, because it's a game of skill that your physical action to some degree influences the outcome.
Well, the history about darts. Do you know the history of darts when it started?
I've done a little bit of
you have a
research.
little
But
look.
yeah, you tell us.
So it was 1908, right? It was then declared as a sport because it's a fantastic bit of history. I'll read it out for you. In 1908, darts was declared to be a game of skill and was thus allowed to be played in pubs. This came about after the landlord of the Adelphi Inn in Leeds, of all places, was prosecuted for allowing darts to be played in a pub. As darts was considered a game of chance at the time, it was not allowed on licensed premises. How crazy is that? So the landlord was supported in his case by the best darts player in the region of his time, William Bigfoot Anakin.
Willie
Fantastic
Bigfoot
name.
Anakin.
Willie Big from Leeds, yeah. And he, apparently in the court case, the landlord of the Adelphi Inn put up a dartboard and said, this is skill. And William Bigfoot Anakin hit 3 double 20s in a row on purpose. So then it was declared a sport so they could play it in licensed places. What a fantastic idea, though.
Yeah,
What a
and
cool
what a
little bit of
great
story.
courtroom scene. I mean, that is sort of Judge Judy territory, isn't it? And you know what they say? Guy with big feet, Big Willie.
Big
Willie Bigfoot.
Anakin as well. That's a Star Wars character,
cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is great, and I love that it sort of all
Great bit
took
of
place
history.
in Leeds as well. That is great, down at the Delphi, because that is a big part of darts, I think, as well. Looking into the history of it, I mean, there's lots of different attempts to try and get to the original source of darts, but you know, it's imagined that it's evolved in some way from archery and military practice and arrows and firing bows and arrows into trees, etc. But the big evolution of it really began before it became this sort of almost, I guess, semi-national pub game. Was it was a very regionalised game, and you know, there was lots of different variances that cropped up, and included, do you read about this, lots of different regional boards?
Yes.
So, you know, and some of which are still in existence in various pubs in Manchester or Yorkshire particularly, because the genesis of its growth into a national sport was obviously pub-led, and there was lots of brewery-led leagues. So they were developing their own variations of it. And then it became ultimately a kind of national sport when people start playing interleague and it becoming a national sport. Again, sort of post this court case really in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And then the London board became the dominant board.
Yeah.
And the one that we would recognise now as we see it with doubles and trebles.
But there was absolutely loads though, because in like the history of any sport, or the history of anything really, it was obviously regionalised first and then becomes national, and then they've got to figure out, well, okay, which ones did we actually like and which one do we keep going? So like it says here, for example, a London Fives board was split into 12 sections consisting of only 20, 15, 10 and 5 segments, whereas a Yorkshire dart board featured the segments 1 to 20 but no trebles and just singles and doubles. And so like, how did they all get back together and was all, oh, hang on a minute, how do you do it down south? And it's like, well, back in 2 seconds, mate, we do it like this, right? It's right. But like, again,
where's your treble zone, mate? We've got trebles on here. Oh, we haven't thought of that.
No, we don't do
what
that.
Have you got 20, mate? Where have you got 20? And I think that's really interesting. You can imagine them turning up, and then, of course, like anything, you know, people, just because of where they were from, defending the one that they're from. I mean, can you imagine the Yorkshireman turning up and having to relinquish reluctantly the London board was probably better because of the treble zones, etc. I can just imagine some of those debates in pubs.
Exactly. But some of the leagues are wicked. I mean, there are, looking into a little bit, some of the history of darts, because I mean, pubs are fantastic places for any sort of story, but like when games are involved, so like here's a really good one. In the 1930s, darts was banned in some parts of the UK, including Liverpool, Glasgow and Huddersfield, for reasons such as on health grounds, because they're sharp or whatever, or it encouraged drunkenness, or it would encourage young people to enter pubs.
Oh,
how ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, all still happening now, right? You know, trying to keep young people out of pubs and, over drug. I mean, it's a great classic British bar game, isn't it? I mean, it obviously it spread to America a little bit post-war again, where, you know, you'd have soldiers convening and playing darts in pubs and taking that back to America. And you do get these Las Vegas-y leagues and things. Spread to Asia similarly. I think, you know, I remember us talking about this when we did our snooker episode, but it's always curious to know why Asia's taken on some of these sort of cultural British games like snooker and darts, but they've really grown, and leagues have grown up in Asia as well, which is always really interesting stuff. But I mean, I don't know if you looked at it. I didn't look into this. I'd be really keen to know. But in the World Championships, which obviously is part of the rationale for us doing this, Luke Littler becoming the youngest ever world champion and his prodigious rise up through the sport in short order.
Unbelievable,
which is incredible. I'm sure we'll talk about it. But when and even have they stopped drinking and smoking at the time? I mean, do the players still have a pint on the side? I don't know. Do they still do that?
It's like the snooker as well. Like, it's that weird game. Like, when you're in a pub, I don't know about you, Rob, but I always feel like I play better when I'm drunk in these games. Be it pool, snooker or darts. So I'm just feeling, I feel like I'm getting better. But it's like that age-old or like traditional image of like Phil the Power Taylor with a pint of mild and half a cigarette hanging off his ear or whatever. I don't know when they stopped doing it. I mean, it's quite a bad advert, really, isn't it? Because like, otherwise, you can't really take the game very seriously, I guess. If half the players are drunk, but it's
I guess
the same
it's
with snooker
probably
as well.
I was going to say it's probably a similar time to when cigarette advertising more broadly was banned from televised sports, because I mean, my sport, the rugby league, that used to be the Silk Cut Challenge Cup, the Embassy Snooker Championships, Embassy cigarettes played at the Crucible. I mean, all the major TV sports were sponsored by lager or cigarettes. And I think that actually changed I think it actually part of the whole New Labour getting rid of some of the health stuff that came in. It probably went in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I guess it wasn't appropriate, therefore, even if it wasn't sponsored, to be having players, sucking on.
Do you know when darts was officially recognised as a sport? Do you know what year? Do you want to give a guess?
Ooh. So you've told us when it was a game considered a game of skill versus a game of chance. But I don't know, maybe, 70s time?
You go in 70s. 2005, Rob.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By what, Sport Britain or Athletic
Sports
Britain?
England officially granted the darts the sports statute. So, that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
In terms
so
of
it's considered a game, essentially, a barroom game before a sport. And again, I refer people back to the Sport or Not episode where we talk a bit about this.
Yeah, which is very interesting, to be fair. But, are we going to see it at the Olympics one day?
Well, that would be interesting. I guess if there was ever, again, a British Olympics and say Manchester got an Olympics versus London, you could see that culturally, because it is, I mean, even to this day, you think of Luke Littler, Lancastrian, Warrington, Runcorn, Phil the Power Taylor, probably the greatest darts player, well, the greatest dart player of all time.
Yeah.
How many times did he win it? 15 or something?
Oh, something stupid like that, yeah.
And
Crazy.
He's a Wiganer, famously, and so you've talked about the Yorkshire origins. Yorkshire, Lancashire, these, well, essentially working class, working pub cultures were, obviously very essential in the development of it and still are at the heart of these sports.
Yeah, totally. I mean, bold to say that Manchester would get the Olympics. I mean, can you imagine? That would be pretty crazy.
But Mancunians think they should get the Olympics. That's very in keeping with the Mancunian personality.
They think that Oasis and the Smiths is tantamount to being Shakespeare and whatever. It's much like Birmingham and Black Sabbath, but anyway, I wouldn't say more than that. But I mean, it is a great... But 2005 to be recognised as a sport, I mean, I'm guessing that must be when it was getting funding from Sports England, and Sports England
that probably is the key to it. Development and
all that kind of, because it's a massive game now. It must. I mean, what's the prize money? How much did Littler win? I mean,
good question.
Was it 500 grand?
I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was $500,000, wasn't it? Because he was runner-up last year, and he said he still hasn't spent that, so he's no idea what he's going to spend his winnings on.
Oh, God, can you imagine being... How is he 18 yet?
Happy to advise or help with that.
Yeah, me too, for a fee. Is he 17 or 18?
I think he's still 17, isn't he? He's 17 right now. He's born on the 21st of January, so his birthday is next week before he's even 18. 17? And legally allowed to be in a pub.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, legally, after 8 o'clock, he can be in the pub. Yeah. But literally 500 grand. So what would you do with 500 grand when you're 17? I don't know what I'd do. Probably have a heart attack. Absolutely crazy.
Well, this is what's interesting about the parallel between darts and snooker, is that the successful players have immersed their childhood or their adolescence, in a darkened room somewhere. In snooker and pool, it's, always a basement pool snooker club or somewhere, blacked out. And darts is about hanging out, as Luke Littler did, with his parents in a pub. So, it becomes all-consuming, which is the 10,000 hours rules of becoming an expert in anything. He's clocked up his 10,000 hours since he started throwing darts age 3 or whatever it was. When
but there's a video of him.
Treble 20.
There's a video of him when he's like a toddler, like 3-4 years old, with like a plastic magnet board, and he's throwing them, and he's hitting 20s, man.
Yeah.
He's like 4 or 5 years old. I mean, he's clearly an incredibly talented player, but 17.
Yeah. So he scored his first 180 age 6, and he achieved his 9-dart finish, which is the optimum. That's the quickest you can go out on a game, because you start at 501 to score, and every point that you score obviously takes that off the total, and the objective is to finish with a double, as is the modern rule. So you can go down. So the way to achieve that, well, actually you either finish on a double or a bull.
Well, I was going to bring it up, the greatest ever 9-dart finish.
Yeah.
When the two it's one of the greatest fucking moments of dart history, for me anyway. Wayne Mardle and Stuart Pike, who are the go-to commentators, they did the Michael Van Gerwen and Michael Smith in the World Championship final in 2022, 3 maybe 23, I think. And they're both on 9 darts, and they go absolutely crazy. And I'm just trying to think what he finished on. I think he finished on a double 12.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Have you not seen that?
So I don't think I have seen that clip. I mean, one way to achieve it is that you do you achieve treble 20 with the first 7 throws, then a treble 19, which gets you 57, and then you finish on 24, which is double 12. So that's one way to achieve it. There's a couple of other ways. You can do like treble 20, treble 19, and then a bullseye.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other ways to do it with like double 12s or double 18s, which are always popular outs, and people seem to master their double 18. You know, if you're going to be a good player, you know, finishing like double 18s, finishing your double 16s, so you can go down your double 16, 32, you can do 16, you can do 8, you can do 4, and you can even do 2. So, you know, it's a good way to try and line that up so you've got more chances to go out. But why was this in a World Championship game?
You need to listen to it. It's some of the best commentary I've ever heard in any sport, ever. They're both on 9s, essentially. They're both on a 9-dart finish.
Yeah.
And Michael van Gerwen, just listen to it. It's almost Shakespearean, some of it. Wayne Mardle goes absolutely crazy. And the whole Ali Pali just goes insane. And let's talk, I mean, we can talk about the atmosphere in a little bit and the whole patronage of darts fans and all that kind of stuff. But watch, if you haven't listened to it and you're listening to this podcast, search Wayne Mardle and World Championship final commentary 2023. He goes absolutely berserk. He's like, they're both on 9s. They're both on a 9. Michael may miss and Michael may miss. Come on, bully boy. And he just goes crazy. It's brilliant. It's really, really good.
The World Championship final.
So yeah, give that a listen.
Michael van Gerwen isn't in any mood to give him a sniff.
Yeah, the combination finishing in this game is going to be key. You can tell by the way they're scoring, there may be nothing in it. They may both be on 9s. Michael may miss and Michael may hit. They're both on 9s. They're both on a 9. This is insane. Come on now.
Wow, the World Championship final. Michael van Gerwen is on a 9-darter in the World final and just misses double 12. Over to you, Michael Smith.
One man misses, does the other man get? I've never seen the like. Come on, bully boy. Yes, double 12. That is the most amazing leg of darts you will ever see in your life. I can't speak. I can't speak.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Talking about darts, have you been to the darts, Rob?
No, so I've never been to a live competitive darts game, and I have a confession to make.
Okay.
In about October last year, I went online and I bought you, me, and James tickets to the O2 to see the darts in May coming up, and it was going to be your Christmas present.
Oh my God.
In May this year, but I'm then now directing Macbeth.
Oh.
And so it's going to be in the tech
Rob.
week and I can't go along. So I've resold the tickets thinking I want to be there when we go.
Yeah,
so
no,
I thought I didn't want to just give them to you
fair,
guys.
fair,
so
fair,
I
fair.
thought we'll look out for another tournament we're going to go. But I had 3 tickets to the darts at the O2 in May to go watch like the League of Darts, like the essentially like the Super League, this competitive
That'd have been
dart
amazing.
play. I know, so I'm sorry.
what a
I didn't
shame.
want to tell you until after Christmas.
Can I be Banquo?
Yeah, at least then you will both be busy doing that, and then that's a good
Just give
idea.
me I'll play Banquo. I'm sure I'd be a good Banquo. I'd be a good Macbeth.
Brilliant.
I'm a bit too young yet.
Have you
that
ever
would've
been to the
great.
darts?
I've never been to the darts. A few of my friends go every year. There's some really random venues. So, like, obviously the World Championships, Ali Pali.
Yeah.
And they use arenas now in the Premier League darts. So,
Yeah.
the big arenas in Birmingham, the O2, blah, 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 all around the country and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But in some of the lesser known tournaments, but still have the bigger players,
Yeah.
Wolverhampton, in a tiny little like retail park or something. It's really odd.
Yeah.
But they go there like every other year and they have the most amazing times. The fancy dress, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I always look at those sort of darts fans as like all the best parts of football fans without the dickishness.
Yeah.
But I've never been, so I can't really say. I don't know, but there doesn't seem to be any hooliganism there, obviously, at darts or anything like that. It's less sort of. Am I guessing?
I think you're being a little bit rose tinted there. I have heard, I spoke to people who've been that according to the level of alcohol consumption, it's not impossible to see the odd chair being launched and all sorts of beer being thrown and all the rest of it. So I think it depends when you go. I spoke to someone who'd been to Ali Pali. And he said, it's always quite good to go early, especially if you're with younger people, before it gets too crazy and it just descends into madness. And then you get all the best of it, the fun, the silliness, the singing, and all the rest of it. But, it's like we've talked a bit about before, with football. It's a proper working class, collective, singing, shared experience, obviously massively fueled by pints of lager.
Booze, unfortunately. Yeah. That's British culture, unfortunately.
Which we have to be honest, is surely in part to do with the fact, and I'm going to get hated for saying this, but I mean this sort of kindly, is that it's not the most sort of nuanced sport in the sense that once you've mastered your throwing action and you've mastered your hand-eye coordination, it's about consistently delivering that, isn't it? It's not like there's a top spin, a side spin, a loop. It's not that you're doing. And as far as I know, this might be really naive of me to say, but I don't think dart players sort of fiddling around with their technique. It's about how do you perform consistently under the pressure of the moment, the pressure of the crowd, handling nerves, all that sort of stuff. Is that fair to say?
I get what you're saying in terms of he's shifted his third knuckle on his ring finger, and now he's throwing it slightly differently and using a different technique. I don't think it's as nuanced as that, but I mean, again, I'm guessing because obviously I've only played it in the pub when you're pissed with a few mates. Yeah, but the level of, and we've spoke about this in terms of individual sports as well. The level, I mean, with all of that going on behind you as well, to have that level of ice calm, cool, coordinated to hit something that's a millimetre, 3 or 4 millimetres wide consistently and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the pool of skill that you need, I mean, I'm not entirely sure there's too much, but there's a lot that goes into the actual equipment as well, though. So the feathers, the weight, the length of the blade, the length of the tip, or blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So there is some sort of slight nuance with that, but I don't know. We'd have to ask a professional darts player.
Yeah. And of course, as you said, people do like Simone Biles, people talk about getting the yips, and that suddenly everything just goes to pot. Something that you've been master at for so long suddenly gets influenced by your nervous system and your nerves and your relationship to task and all those sort of things, which I think is a really fascinating part of all of that.
There would be poo everywhere if I'm Luke Littler. Poo absolutely everywhere. 500 grand, I could pay off all of my family's mortgages in a second. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And absolutely, I've got 5,000-6,000 people behind me screaming at me. Half of them are dressed as nuns and frogs. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I want a beer, but I've got to now do this again. There'd be poo everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I mean, the cojones that those players have to have.
Yes.
It's absolutely ridiculous, man.
And it is therefore a big mind game and, the mastering under calm of your action. But these are not, to go back to your Kylian Mbappe starting point, these are not athletes as such. I don't think we can say that, can we, about many of them. I mean, this is proper,
although never
central.
say never, though, Rob, because look at, a sport like golf.
Yeah.
Back in the day, golfers used to be, smoking fags, not particularly fit. Now they're all in the gym. They do all the fitness regimes and everything like that. I mean, is snooker's kind of going down that road? They look after themselves a little bit better.
But we don't want that in darts, do we? I mean, the days that darts player are gymming and working out and having nutritional routines before they go. I mean, I mean,
with jokes.
Bless his soul and R.I.P. Andy Fordham, who won it in 2004 and sort of I think he's only a one-time winner, but he kind of broke the cycle of Raymond van der Barneveld, who's the Dutch sort of master, great player, and won it. He was not a fit man, and unfortunately that came to sort of, I think he had heart bypasses and all the rest of it and died age 59, poor guy. But, that he was sort of the epitome of an unfit barroom darts player achieving success. But it just shows you can find your moment and achieve your success irrespective, right? And he was,
Rob,
he was a great player.
Yes.
Who are the sort of iconic dart players of your era?
Phil the Power Taylor, Barney, Van Barneveld. I mean, Van Gerwen was sort of young enough for me, I think, coming through. But it was Phil the Power Taylor every single time.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
It's big in Holland as well, isn't it? There's a lot of good Dutch players. Yeah.
I don't really know why. Maybe they just nicked it from us and we liked it. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know why it sort of transferred over there, but I guess there's a massive kinship, isn't there? And I think between the Dutch pub culture, the Dutch love a beer, they love a drink, they like a bar in the same way the Brits do. I think I really like being in Amsterdam and Holland for that is that there's very similar kind of relationship to that and sense of humours and stuff as well.
We're both alcoholics, I suppose, is what we're saying. We're both alcoholics.
But I'm obviously older than you, and I was growing up in the same as the peak days of those Steve Davis, Dennis Taylor's, all those iconic snooker players. Similarly, again, because there was only 4 channels, none of this Sky Sports stuff, darts and snooker were on the telly. It was getting millions and millions of viewers. But I grew up with Eric Bristow, the Crafty Cockney, Keith Deller, Dennis Priestley, John Lowe. John Lowe was always, he was always a bit sort of sour looking, but he actually was quite a fun guy. And Jockey Wilson, of course, who was the Scottish player who was a real character, as wide as he was tall. And, a real character, but he was a really great player as well, and won it twice back in the late 80s. So, really big characters who were national characters. They were national sporting players, some of these guys.
Was it on the B? Was it BBC, the darts? Or was it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was definitely on BBC One and BBC Two, and you'd all watch it.
What was the theme tune?
Oh, that is a good question.
Because those, honestly, I remember being in York when I was a wee lad on my dad's lap, and the snooker came on. No, that's Ski Sunday.
No, that's... Did
I get it right then?
I think you got it right, yeah. Yeah, that is the snooker, yeah.
Yeah, that's the snooker.
But I guess, I don't know the theme tune of the darts, but of course the one that was synonymous with darts was the bullseye, the quiz share, the...
One.
Yeah. So that was the iconic darts-themed quiz show hosted by Jim Bowen. If you had a nice time, there's your bus fare home, your BFH. And
what was a speedboat made famous by Peter Kay as well?
Always a speedboat.
Always a speedboat. And where are you from? Birmingham. Brilliant. Fantastic.
They brought that back, didn't they, over Christmas with...
Freddie Flintoff, wasn't it?
Freddie Flintoff presenting it, and actually Luke Littler as well coming in and being the pro. Yeah, I mean, that was iconic sort of Saturday night entertainment, and you'll see a lot of clips on Instagram if you're looking for that these days of
just
slightly
burly men and women in
from,
shell suits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
darts.
Totally.
Where are you from? Bolton. Okay, cool. What do you do in Bolton? Not a lot. Play darts. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used to love that stuff. Yeah, the other thing about darts that obviously has come into mainstream stuff and very TikTok-y and memeified is the music that's used. And the singing and the chanting. Well, walk-on music and also the chanting.
Yeah.
Both. And songs that are synonymous with the darts, which would... The first one would be... Come on, Rob.
Oh, baby. Ooh.
Oh, really?
Is that
no,
one?
I would go...
I imagine. Sort of chant or something, yeah.
Brilliant. They have some really great songs. And apparently they always sing about how shit Tottenham are as well. That seems to be a thing as well.
Oh, really?
Around every venue they sing... The Arsenal usually sing a song about Tottenham. Because James Maddison, who plays for... Tottenham Hotspur, whenever he scores a goal, his celebration is to throw a dart at the camera, right?
Yes, he does,
to which many other footballers who have scored against Tottenham and Maddison, they take the piss, namely Neil Mapai, who used to play for Brighton.
Yeah.
He would do the same and take the piss. He's a big darts fan, so Maddison always goes. So wherever he is, they always sing the Tottenham is shit song.
Yeah.
And now it's just a dart song around every single... Because James Maddison is a Tottenham player and he likes darts. So that's quite funny.
And of course, just recently, controversially, he didn't play, he wasn't in the Tottenham squad, but then appeared at the darts final, didn't he? And then Ange Postecoglou was like, I don't care, it's fine. If
He's a knobhead, Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan. But back in my day, when I was young, it was always a bit like the Crucible is iconic for the venue of the snooker. The Lakeside was the venue of the darts back in the day, I think right through from the mid-80s to 2019, 2020, before it then moved to... Well, there was a split, of course, wasn't there? Like all good sports, we talked about this in the Rugby League episode, there was a kind of split between the two darts organisations, the PDC and the WDO, or the BDO, rather.
Yeah.
and they split and they started having rival championships, and they were televised on different channels, and the World Championships took place over Christmas and New Year, just slightly overlapping and different finish times. And so it moved from the Lakeside, which was in Fimley Green in Surrey, and then they brought the other one brought to the Ali Pali, and now I don't know the history of the resolution of that, but it's back under one banner mainly now these days, isn't it? And the Ali Pali is the big one.
I mean, the Ali Pali is a great venue, for anything, in my opinion. It's a great place. So, I don't mind being at the Ali Pali. I did have a question for you, though, Rob. If you were a darts player, I want your name, because they've all got nicknames, and I want your walkout music.
Oh, okay. Do you know yours?
Not really. I thought it could be a good point of discussion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, a bit like my karaoke singing, what I'm always very good at is sort of misjudging the mood and bringing down, when everyone wants a banger to keep us all going and sing along, I go for like a Michael Bublé ballad or something, or, something inappropriate that I think will really showcase my voice but kills the atmosphere in the room. So I think to be consistent with that, I probably have to come out to something like Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton, and sort of just really misjudge the vibe in the room and everybody hate it.
There is a Chinese, I think he's Chinese player who he comes out to a Westlife song. You raise me up so I could. And I think he played in a tournament during COVID, so there's no fans, no atmosphere there whatsoever, and he's walking down the runway to the Oche to You Raise Me Up by Westlife, and all the dancers are just there with pom-poms just standing. It's really quite funny. So I think you and him are kindred spirits. That would be quite good.
Yeah.
What about a name?
Well, it's either got to be alliterative, right? So we've got,
Rob the Knob.
Rob the Knob, Shaw Cameron.
Yeah,
I'd have to dump
perfect.
one of them. You can't have two surnames. That's totally alienating. Makes you look like, some middle-class toff playing it. So it'd have to be like, Rob the Knob Shaw. And on I come. That's a good one. I mean, so they're either alliterative like that, like we've got Luke the Nuke Littler, and Barneveld,
and Jason.
all those.
Is it Jason Aspinall? Is the Asp? The snake.
I mean, they're not hugely imaginative, those ones are. I don't know where Phil the Power Taylor came from.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah.
What's Michael Van Gerwen's one?
There is actually, we've probably both come across this in our research, but if anyone wants to look into the history of darts, there's a really good website called Darts 501, which has history, and it's got one page with everybody's nickname on there as well. So you can actually source the nickname of every professional darts player. You can even, get them to put it up there, if it doesn't appear already. So, that's
a site. Isn't there? I'm just on that site as well at the moment, like The Hunter, Captain Kirk, Jackpot, Big Dog, like him, the Iceman, the Hammer, the Viking, the Pie Man, the Dutch Destroyer. I mean, there's just loads. So come on, what would you go for?
Well, I think it could either be like Rob the Surefire Cameron or something with a play on name.
Good. Yeah.
Sure hit, sure tight, something like that. It's not quite working. I'm up for Rob the Knob.
Rob the
to
Knob.
be honest. Yeah. What would yours be? Let's work through yours.
I wouldn't mind. Well, I was just thinking actually, the Fox.
Yeah.
Jack the Fox Loxton.
Yeah. I mean, that's great, isn't it? I mean, we've talked back in the day about the Fox in the Box Loxton. Yeah. So you'd have to be consistent with that. What would your walk on be?
This is a stolen gag, but I'll do what Homer Simpson did when he does that boxing match. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? Something like that. Or if not, Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
I was going to say, surely it's got to be...
As I'm walking out.
I can feel it in the air. Yeah, I think that'd be great. That's a good walk-on tune for sure.
Jack the Fox Loxton with Phil Collins.
With a foretelling of, the outcome. I can feel it in the air. And you can imagine all the crowd going, I can feel it tonight. Fox. Yeah. Oh my God, this is good. Yeah, I think
there we
this
go.
could work.
Sorted. Yeah. We need to change careers, man.
Yeah,
Rob
that'd
the
be
Knob
great.
and Jack the Fox Loxton.
So what do you think is the future for Luke Littler? Because, you know, as a protege like that, coming in, achieving something like that, age 17, what do you do? I mean, you've got to go on, I guess, and try and take on Phil the Power Taylor's record, of course.
I mean, he's got obviously time on his hands. He's got money on his hands now. He's going to get more sponsorship deals. He's just going to become bigger and bigger and bigger on this meteoric rise that he's doing. So yeah, that's got to be the goal, isn't it? To become the best of the best. Whether or not he's able to do it, because it comes down to like mentality, comes down to maturity as he's getting older, as he is a sportsman now. I mean, 17-year-olds under the spotlight with 500 grand in their pocket, there isn't really a very good track record in terms of that, is there, in terms of fame?
But also, you know, you must at some point burn out and just want to do something different with your life, right? I mean, you know, Phil Taylor won 16, I was just looking at there. And so that's extraordinary, you know, to win 16 titles. And the nearest is Trina Gulliver, who is a female darts player, won 10. And then we're down at Raymond van der Barneveld, who's got 5. So, you know, it's a big gap. You can see him getting 5, but to go for 16 over a course, obviously he's got time, but do you want to do that? And also there's something, isn't there, about being a protege when you're known as much for your talent as being your age, you can go off in different directions, can't you? I mean, he's going to get so much attention. I mean, it reminds me of when I starred as the Artful Dodger in the Criggleston amateur dramatic production of Oliver. People are like, Rob's got it, you know, he's going to be big in the future, and I've had to carry that for many years after.
And you've done it so well as well, if I'm honest, because it was quite a mantle to
burden to carry that. Yeah. So who knows what the future will bring? Were you ever a protege at anything?
Yeah.
Well, not playing lions in musicals, that's for sure. Whatever it was, leopards that you were meant to do.
Yeah, but I didn't do that because. That still hurts me.
Let's not go back. That
still hurts me. That does. I'm not even joking.
We're referring back to Jack and I's first meeting. If you haven't heard that story, then go back to the first episodes. But yeah. But yeah, I
don't know. Protege. I'm not too good. I'm quite good at golf. My grandpa did think I was going to be a golfer at one point when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
He was like, "Holy shit, this guy's going to make us loads of money." But then, like, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kicked off.
Yeah,
and just kind of grew up a little bit. So.
Yeah,
and you know. I've never played any amateur performances, so, you know, I'll have to let you know.
What about, are you better darts or pool player if in a pub?
Good question.
Where's your domain?
If I'm drunk, pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm quite good at pool. Well, you have to hit the sweet spot, like 2 or 3 pints. I'm in the zone. Darts. Yeah. I actually played darts yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
At time of recording. Whilst
in preparation for this recording.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
We haven't talked about the absolute plethora of different forms of playing it in the pub as well, amateurly.
Yeah.
So we played golf on a darts board.
Oh, talk us through that.
So here's just one example. You play golf on a darts board. 1 to 20, each number is a hole.
Yeah.
Right? So if you hit a certain section, you get 4. If you hit a smaller section, the second section, the inner ring, you get 3. Yeah. If you hit double, you get a hole in 1. If you hit treble, you get 2. So, and if you miss, you get 5.
Right.
So you have to get as least
amount of score. So there's a par for each thing, and you go around. Yeah. Okay. So that's an evolution of round the clock, right? Which is something maybe a lot of people have played on the board, and actually, again, was a early part of the darts thing before people getting into trebles, where you just have to go from 1 to 20 in order, right? And that's often what people play together. But then you've evolved that into golf. What are the other ones then?
Cricket. You can play cricket. So one person is batting.
Very confusing.
One person's bowling, right? So the batsman is just trying to get as high a score as possible, and the wickets that the other player, the bowler's trying to get, are doubles. So each double he hits round from 1 to 10, 1 to 10, I think it is. That's a wicket. So once he gets double 10, then they're all out, and then they swap innings, and then you swap round. Great game.
Very good. That's good, so that you can still be in teams doing round the clock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that is good. Yeah, that'd take a bit of time, though, with the accuracy of an amateur player, because getting a double is not easy.
Tough, yeah. Well, this is the thing about this game. It's there isn't a massive skill set needed, but it's bloody difficult game.
Yeah.
You've got to be so precise, obviously, but it's a bloody hard game.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we kick on for our next leg? Because I'm 3-0 up now.
All right, let's have a game of dart, and then I'll take you on the pool table.
Okay. Are you better at pool?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at pool, yeah. To the irritation of some of my mates. Yeah.
Have we ever played pool together, me and you?
No, we have not.
We'll have to do that soon, okay?
Okay, yeah. A dart and pool game.
What? 180.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jack the Fox Loxton.